A significant amount of never-before-seen Pokemon content has just been revealed, including old concept art, prototype designs, and even entire scrapped Pokemon from previous games. Let's take a look at some of these Pokemon designs that never saw the light of day. Subscribe to the channel, or you will be visited in your dreams by Prototype Cacturne. Thank you. The most famous of the scrapped designs that were newly revealed are these ones right here for the Gen 3 starters. And I think two of these are looking pretty close to how they were in game. Let me move myself so that you can see. I mean, this Torchic, it's got some oddly shaped feathers at the top of its head, but pretty close to how it ended up. Trico is looking just about the same, except for the red eyes, which are quite frightening. But folks, who is this? Who is this rabbit? This is looking completely different to the actual water type starter that we got in Gen 3, obviously. And for that reason, many are shocked at the existence of this strange rabbit with a floaty. A lot of people are very fond of this design actually, and wish that it ended up in the Pokemon games in some form. And it's pretty cute. Kind of similar to Scorbunny and also Floatzel. It reminds me of those two. Maybe they were inspired by this original concept that then branched off into those designs, perhaps. And a lot of people are saying something that I disagree with, that this should have been the starter that ended up in Gen 3 instead of Mudkip. I think that Mudkip is an improvement over this. This is a cool character, but Swampert ended up being one of the greatest Pokemon of all time, competitively, casually, everything. A world without Swampert is a scary one that I don't want to be a part of. If we instead had a water rabbit instead of Swampert, I don't want to know what that future looked like. I don't want to know what that alternate timeline is like. What do you folks think about this rabbit Pokemon, good or bad? This was another shocking one to see, and you can understand why this was scrapped. This is a Pokemon we've never seen before, or the concept for one. Look at this. What is this horror beyond human comprehension? This is unbelievable. I can't believe that a Pokemon designer created this creature. It looks vaguely similar to Metagross in the final stage evolution at the bottom right there, so maybe that was like the original frame that they eventually made into Metagross. But my gosh, this is a terrifying entity. Looks like something out of Shin Megami Tensei or something. Imagine a world where Metang evolves into bottom right creature here, and children across the globe are scarred for the rest of their lives upon seeing this monstrosity. It doesn't fit at all within the Pokemon art style as well. This does not look like it should exist within Pokemon. Very interesting to see this, how the early designs look, the early stage concepts of Pokemon. Because everything in the final game looks like it fits within the universe. This does not. This looks like it's completely alien. This one is also kind of insane. I don't even know what Pokemon this led to. This must have been completely scrapped, because I can't think of a Pokemon that looks vaguely like this. It's like a weird extra-dimensional being with some plasma inside of it. It looks like it's screaming for help. Its body is very polygonal. Is this Porygon 3 right here? Is this Porygon 3? This is something that they scrapped for a reason. I kind of love it though. Maybe this led into like the Palkia Dialga concept. It looks like a god of space and time that does not exist within our realm. That's what this looks like to me. But that's not for me to say, I guess. That's for the original designer to comment on. What am I looking at? Crazy Pokemon. And as I teased earlier, this is Prototype Cacturne. Wow. Wow, folks. I mean, this is Cacturne's true form. Cacturne is a Pokemon that... This is kind of how I see him in my head. I think that Pokemon is evil to the core, rotten to the core. I have a video about Cacturne and all the crimes he has committed, all the sin he has committed in his life. And this one, to me, makes a lot of sense. This is actually what Cacturne should look like. This is more lore accurate in my opinion. That Pokemon is an absolute blight on society, and this is the kind of Lovecraftian horror that I think fits with that. This is... I don't even know how you draw this. This is frightening beyond belief. This one's kind of interesting. Some ancient runes on the wall come to life. A little bit terrifying. Maybe this is the concept that eventually led into Runerigus, who was in a later game, who has a similar visual concept. I don't know if I like this one. It's a bit all over the place. It is freaky looking though. What is this guy doing in the left image? Is it climbing atop itself? Is it coming out of the ground? I am left with a lot of questions. Here's another one. Big dinosaur. Pretty cool. I can see why it was scrapped. Does not really fit with Pokemon. Doesn't look like a Pokemon at all, but this could be like a Final Fantasy enemy or something. I mean, this is a pretty cool creature. They could bring this back. This could be his own franchise. This could be the new titan of media. It's sort of a Pikachu competitor. Who is this called? I don't even know what he's called. He has too many claws. That's kind of freaking me out. The amount of claws on each of his hands is too many. What are they for? What are those for? I don't want to And he's got holes on his body leading into a light blue. What's on the inside there? Is that like some light blue energy keeping him alive? I now have too many questions that frighten me and scare me. There are also some prototype sprites that got revealed, and a lot of these just look like the final product or close to it, especially these bottom ones. Wailmer does have a creepy grin going on. That's a little frightening. Lombre does not have a hat yet, which is interesting. There was a pre-hat time for Lombre's life that was not previously known by people. Kecleon is looking just about the same. A Pokemon true to its form at every stage of the pipeline. Azurill right here is looking worried. I wonder what about. Maybe he's worried that he can't identify this Pokemon right here. Who is that? I'm not sure. This one, I don't know what this is even supposed to be. And then we scroll up and we see that things get a little bit crazy, because what is going on with Beta Pelipper? This Pelipper looks angry and looks like it's going to, I don't know, do some wrong in the world, do some crimes maybe. I think that this Pelipper is freaking me out a little bit. I think of Pelipper as a goofy and innocent looking Pokemon. It's got the eyes that show no evil, and this Pelipper is very evil. I don't know that I like evil Pelipper, and I'm glad that Pelipper was altered, because this is giving me some bad feelings. And who is this on the right? Is that supposed to be Nuzleaf? Is that a beta form of Nuzleaf? That's my best guess. It's sort of a Pinocchio demon creature with... It's walking on stilts? I mean, wow. What is going on with that one? Nuzleaf was an improvement, if that was supposed to be Nuzleaf in its original form. It's interesting seeing the creative process. I never knew that Pelipper was once angry. That's an interesting part of its design that nobody would have understood prior to this. Nobody would have understood, and they fought to keep that hidden. They wanted to keep that information hidden, but now we know that Pelipper has a dark history. We know that Pelipper has a sinister past, and that's gonna taint his legacy maybe. Now is this like a Bomber Snow or somebody? I kind of like this one. This could have been in the game, right? This is a pretty nice creature design. I don't think it's too bad. They could have put this one in. Now this one's funny. Beta, I think Manectric. This just looks like a dog with a costume on. This looks like a normal dog that they put a weird costume on, and he's not happy about it. Manectric looks more like an actual electrified dog with fantastical characteristics. This is just a real-life dog that they have put a star costume, and he is furious. Now this is crazy right here. The original cast form, weather forms. What's going on with this? We have fire form, of course. That could be water or ice form. I don't even know. I kind of like these. They look so different to how it ended up. These are like different creatures entirely. And what is going on with Tornado Guy? Is that the rain form originally? I wonder what... Maybe that's a sandstorm form, because it's like a sand dust devil? I don't even know, but it's... I love it. I like the angry looking face. It looks like a World of Warcraft enemy. Not really though, but it evokes something. It looks like maybe a Dragon Quest enemy. This is crazy as well. Absol back of head was once yin yang symbol. I mean, it already kind of looks like that. Maybe they just wanted it to be more subtle and got rid of that. It also, from back of head, it almost looks like this is the front of his face. That might be confusing, so they altered that. But that's interesting that this was baked into the original idea of Absol's visuals. That tells you something. This must be Beta Clamperl. I gotta say, I love this one. Love the facial expression. They really changed the entire vibe of Clamperl, didn't they? They made it way more innocent looking. This one, it doesn't necessarily look sinister, but it doesn't look like, you know, what Clamperl looks like. A little non-violent mollusk. This is a more maniacal mollusk that could maybe kill you. It could maybe get you. Now, seeing an image like this is like looking into another universe. What is this bizarre snail creature back sprite? Is this what kids in the Dimension X were seeing when they were playing Pokemon Topaz for the Game Boy Advanced? I guess it's still called the Game Boy Advanced in Universe X. Is this their favorite creature? Snailma? Is this Snailma? I don't know who this is. And this is a fan favorite over in Universe Z. Children were actually polled, and they all said that Orangeoid right here was their favorite Pokemon from their childhood, and I can understand why with its iconic design, used in merchandise everywhere. Nah, this, you can understand why this one was scrapped. This is all over the place, this design right here. This must be Skitty, based on the tail. This is, I kind of like it. It looks a lot like Jirachi, though. It looks very similar to Jirachi, but I like the hands in front like that is quite good. This must be Tropius. Okay, I gotta say they improved Tropius. Way too dragon-like head. I like that he's more tree-like in his final design with bananas coming off. This is Interesting, though. This is interesting. It almost evokes Rayquaza. And what the hell is this supposed to be? This is it Lantern? It can't be Lantern. This is just a random fish that they put in and scrapped. They were just freestyling with this one. This is Fishnado. He never made an appearance. Fishnado never got into the game. Folks, it is Turtle Tuesday. I didn't realize it, but I'm realizing it now. And we all know that Turtle Tuesday is the gift that keeps on giving. Gift Turtle should have not been scrapped. Why did they scrap this? They have robbed us with this one. Gift Turtle should have absolutely made an appearance. And look at the back sprite down here. Very well rendered, a lot of detail. What is inside the box? Something good, I hope. A Nintendo 64, I hope. Maybe this concept is what eventually led to Crustle, who looks sort of similar, maybe. Not a turtle, though, like a bug with a big square on it. Similar, though, in vibe. This is a tree with an apple coming out of it. Looks like the stump from Maple Story, but green. This one, is there more to it? You scroll down, that's the back sprite. It's got another apple back there. I don't know about this one. I don't know if this one's very good. I don't know that they... Did this lead to anything? Trevenant, maybe? Maybe this is Trevenant later on? Gorgeist Lodge? I don't know. I don't know about Tree Apple. And here there's a whole collection of them. I think that this one right here is supposed to be Sableye original form. Like a little gremlin holding a... Is that a disc of gold? What is this? It must be Sableye with the gemstone, right? This is sort of reminding me of Mega Sableye. This one must be Sharpedo, and that's looking... This is looking pretty cool. I think that the final Sharpedo design is definitely more Pokemon-like. This looks maybe a bit over-designed for Pokemon, but not terrible. I like it, actually. This is Claydol for sure. They changed his color scheme. What else have we got here? Okay, there's heaps of weirdos in here. This must be Volbeat. They made Volbeat a lot more child-friendly, for sure. Volbeat is very different later on. What is this tree? This tree is nuts. He is looking very unhappy. And does it evolve from this little doll? We could have had a very different world. What are they doing over in Universe X with their Pokemon? Banette is looking about the same. There's a lot of stuff happening. I'm a bit overwhelmed by all this. That's Hariyama? This is Hariyama. Wait a sec. Wait a minute. Stop the presses. That is Hariyama in its original state? What were they doing? I mean, it's an iterative design process. This is the original concept. I suppose it's not terrible. It's kind of cool, but I definitely think Final Hariyama is a classic, one of my favorites. Seeing this is a little bit bizarre. Seeing early Hariyama. Wow. What else is noteworthy here? What else have we got? A lot of different interesting creatures. That must be sound-based. We've got Iron Fellow, of course. People have told me. This is Iron Fellow, a notorious criminal Pokemon with a lot to answer for in the next life. Well, let's just say that. A lot to answer for. A lot of people would talking about this Zigzagoon beta sprite, which was an interesting one. It looks a little bit more cute, I guess. Wow, this is Flygon right here. Flygon is looking extremely different. You see that? You see Flygon? Looking way more like Vibrava. Kind of freaky looking, more buggish, more bug-like in this form. A little bit insane, a little bit crazy. I can scarcely believe all this. I can scarcely believe it. And before I lose myself, that is Breloom. Okay, wait a sec. That's got to be a Breloom beta sprite. And that's nuts. This looks it looks like a Chocobo from Final Fantasy. It doesn't look like a Breloom at all. You can still identify the tail and the feet, but the final design is so different. How did they... It's crazy how they get from point A to point B like that. Was Breloom once look like that? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And this is just a peacock in Pokemon. I mean, I could go... That's... Folks, Shedinja is freaking me the hell out. What is... That's Shedinja? That can't be true. Why is Lotad looking so sinister? Why did they make evil Lotad? Why did they create evil Lotad right there? You seeing this? They didn't have to do that. Well, they didn't. They scrapped it. But why did they always go towards evil at first, and then they fix it. They make it safe and marketable and appeasing to children, but they start evil. Even Lotad started evil in its first stage of life. What's going on? Well, thanks for watching, folks. This has been an interesting experience, hasn't it? I'm not even going to talk about the Pokemon to my right. That's going to just exist there, and we don't have to comment on it. Who are your favorite of these scrapped Pokemon designs? I gotta go with Freaky Metagross that looks like it came from a Lovecraftian nightmare. That's my favorite, because I can't believe that's a real Pokemon concept art. How about you, folks? Let me know down below in the comments, and thank you for watching.